As everyone knows in this chamber and throughout the state, February is Black Awareness Month or Black History Month. My youngest, who turns 8 on Sunday, earlier this week asked me, he said, what is Black History Month? And I gave a response that I think most people give. I said, we celebrate a lot of African Americans who have expanded rights in our country. I talked about Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks and leaders in both medicine and law and Katherine Johnson. And then I left it. I left it alone, and that was satisfactory for him. But then I got to start to thinking. I said, that may be an inaccurate or incomplete response. So I went back to him and I said, the more accurate or complete response is because as a people, African Americans in this country have persisted and overcome. They were enslaved for 250 years on this continent, where they were sold in bondage, families broken up, born and bred for labor. The Civil War comes, slavery is eliminated, eradicated. But for the next 100 years after that, the law of the land is separate and unequal. There's no guarantee of a right to vote. Lynchings are common in parts of our country. That's only changed in the last 60 or 70 years of our history. And so, despite all those obstacles, despite everything that I just explained, as a people, they persisted and overcame. They didn't say, I'm going to leave this country. They didn't say, I'm going to hide under a rock. They didn't say, I'm going to accept the status quo. That's why we celebrate Black History Month. And then I got to thinking more. That persistence and overcoming, those are unique qualities to America. When you hear discussions about what makes America great, it are those characteristics and qualities. In different circumstances, and I would argue maybe not as much, obviously not as much suffering over time, our founding fathers persisted and overcame against a world power at the time. Again, going back to the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln and the Union forces overcame division. They persisted. Women suffragettes overcame and persisted. Our union laborers overcame and persisted in order to get the workers' rights and protections that all of us, union or not, benefit from today. So that's always good to understand and accept. That's what makes this country great. Their story, everyone's story, but the story of African Americans in this country is our story. And we need to accept it and confront it. Our history may be messy. All histories are. Sometimes of our own doing, sometimes of someone else's. But the theme is, the takeaway is, through their strength, they persisted and overcome. And that's what we celebrate in Black History Month. Thank you, Mr. President.